of the Federal Capital Territory, FCT, Nyesom Wike, addressing newsmen in Abuja, Wike vowed to deal with people distorting the master plan of the FCT. Let's hear from Wike.
All those people who are distorting the master plan of Abuja, too bad, too bad. If you know you have built where you're not supposed to build, it will go down. It will go down. Be a minister of anywhere, be an ambassador. If you know you have developed where you're not supposed to develop, your house must go what? Down. Those who have taken over the green areas to build, sorry, our parks must come back. The green areas must come back. If you hate green, you must hate yourself. So if you know you have anybody who is involved that have taken over the green areas, have taken over the parks, to where you now do restaurants, no, we will not accept that. Sorry. If your father has done that, sorry. If your mother has done that, sorry. There's nothing I can do. It will go down. And all these people are doing land marketing. I'll talk to the staff tomorrow. There are a lot of people are involved. And let me tell you, that period of land marketing is what? Over. And those that government are giving CFO land, allocated land to them, they refuse to develop. And they are becoming land speculators. The land is gone. I'm going to revoke them. I will revoke. Because I don't understand how your government will give you land to develop, then you keep the land land that you may have paid for 200,000. You're not beginning to find who will buy it for 2 billion and 3 billion. Who does that? We'll take back our land and give it to those who want to develop. And you must sign that you must develop at so time. So, if you are part of those who have been getting such land, it will come back to us. And some people are saying, oh, Abuja is not doing this, Abuja is not doing that. Those of you who also have refused to pay a grand rent, non-payment of grand rent is a breach of covenant. I don't need to write you to pay. You know this word as well. You are like a tenant. At the end of the month, you are supposed to pay social amount, for example, and then you say, oh, my landlord has done anything to me. No, it doesn't make sense. Because Abuja needs money too, is it not? Part of the revenue, or source of revenue, is ground rent. So if you have not paid, be it national, whatever you call it, banco, anywhere, big man, sorry. I will not be tired to revoke. That's one here. It is true. And I'm going to do it, nothing will happen. Heaven will not fall. Heaven will either be at peace.
Julie, this is looking like no-nonsense minister.
Because if you fail to pay your grand rent, because Abuja needs more money. If you fail to pay your grand rent, I will come for you.
You will take over green areas.
Yes.
We'll take over green areas. We will come for you. Abuja.
Never a dull woman in some wicked. Never a dull woman.
Abuja has found in a long time. Abuja didn't have a minister that you could describe as no nonsense. And many of us who go to Abuja from time to time,
so the decline.
We cannot deny the deterioration of the federal capital.
Master plan, yeah.
You know, the deterioration, the way who are building houses where ordinarily they shouldn't have built houses. even the extent of the manner of disposal of human and industrial waste puts Abuja to shame. Now, Wike has come to right the wrongs. He has clearly come to right the wrongs. What is? Wike has come to right the wrongs because we just can't leave Abuja to deteriorate. We can't leave Abuja to deteriorate. It's our capital, one of the most beautiful cities in Africa, and we have to keep it like that. So I said yesterday that Wike is the first minister from southern Nigeria, first substantive Abuja minister, FCT minister. I think I have to make it clear that because I got some messages, I just said Adeogun was not FCT minister. I just said Adeogun was special duties minister, given the mandate to oversee Abuja.
The construction. Yeah.
So Wike is the first Southerner to become the substantive minister of the Federal Capital Territory. That is the truth. That is history. And we want to see what he's going to do. We've had ministers of state, Akejide, Babalola, the rest of them. People have to be clear about what I'm saying. I'm not referring to minister of state. Because someone was sending messages to me that are about minister of state. A minister of state is not substantive minister of a ministry. We all know that. We all know that. So that is when they are talking about FCT minister, do they call Ramatu, who was minister of state the last time, do they call her the FCT minister? No. It's Bello. So I knew what I was talking about. We expect that not just Wike, all of those ministers who have been given different roles to play, we expect that they will do their best. And I'm happy that the president has said, I'm going to hold you accountable. We will
measure your performance.
Also put the president on his toes. We will remind him
to hold
of his promise to hold those ministers accountable. The president has to come up with key performance index for all of those ministers. We are not going to have a situation in which people are just kept in their ministries, whether they perform or they are not perform, they are just there. No,
colorless.
No.
4 years.
That is not what. In these difficult times, we need ministers who are ready to work, ready to generate money for our country, ready to help move our economy forward, ready to contribute their quota to the development, to the growth and development of our country. And with the president as the person chaperoning them to give their best. So we as journalists are responsible to remind the president that on that day, when these people were inaugurated, you made a promise that you hold them accountable. Do not relax. Ensure that they give their best. So we wish them good luck. We believe that there's a lot of promise, yes, and a lot of work to do.
We're coming from a background that the record of the stewardship wasn't scrutinized at any given time. You see some even coming back after 4 years and just spend 8 years in the ministry, and those people now they've gone in oblivion. We can't even remember some of them. And you think as well, some people, this person was a minister, this person was a minister, you thought, man, without any impacts that you can hold for 8 years, and the chief executive officer, that is the commander-in-chief, did not hold any of them.
We said on this program almost 8 years ago to the day, when people were talking about this that Buhari was bringing into the system, that most of them would disappear into the system. We were still using the old circular table then. And that's what really happened. Out of over 50 ministers over 2 terms. They are very used. I'm sure that even journalists cannot name 10 off the cuff. That's how bad. And those that were remembered for all the wrong reasons. They were very notorious, if that word is allowed. We hope this will not happen this time. And I don't think so, because some of these people are already outspoken. Some of them are coming from the tradition of the progressives, and we expect them to also hold themselves responsible. Because I know a minister who came on TV and said a lot of people are disappointed I was not giving Ministry A, but I promised them that in this ministry that I am, they will hear from me. That to me is a challenge. It's not wanting to just disappear into the system, because you see yourself as an outsider. Go out of your way to let us know the challenges that that sector is facing and what you are doing to solve these problems. The president has set a timeline. Set your own performance index to judge yourself, so that young journalists will call you out in a year from today, that what have you done? You can refer us back to what you said when you resumed. That is what you are going to do. And that's why I'm very happy about the quality of people, especially those in foreign affairs, and then the man I thought was going to handle transport, but who is now going to handle others as well.
Jide, the former Minister of Works, that's Babatunde Raji Fashola, we saw his performance. He's one of those people that I can point to readily, that's like the star boys of the Buhari administration. And in terms of infrastructure, they tried, and the deficits the country is suffering from right now, this will leave Dave Umahi with a very, very big space that he must do something about the level of degeneration in that sector.
Yes, given the size of our budget and how much we allocate to works, for example, there is very little that a minister can do. I believe that if Fashola had more money at his disposal, he could have even done better. But you find that without the Abacha loot, for example, that was repatriated to our country, without having to take money from the sovereign wealth fund.
And the sukuk, yeah.
And he used to cook.
And sukuk. Honestly, he wouldn't have even been able to execute those key projects. And I'm talking about key projects, I'm referring to the second Niger Bridge, the Abuja, Kaduna, Kano, Dua Carriageway, which is the biggest of the projects. You know, the local Iweto bridge, which links the southeast to the north central of our country. So those big projects, and then the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, which they inherited and then redesigned. Frankly, if they didn't have funds coming from those sources, especially the Abacha loots, they would not have even been able to achieve that much. Because
so we have to get creative.
If in a year, for example, you are allocating like 400 billion to works and housing, what do you expect?
A drop in the ocean.
You know, and there is a lot of debts, contract debts, that are even
with local and foreign.
You know, I'm not talking of local
contractors.
Local contractors that we are owing them. It's a lot of money. So how do you deal with such a situation? So the infrastructure decay will go on until we get creative about sourcing for funds, and until we get the private sector involved in the execution of this kind of projects. Because for me, the way to go, at least talking about global best practices, is a collaboration between the sovereign and the private sector. The private sector can take a project do what you call build, operate, and transfer. You know, they transfer to you after some years because you will never be able to find enough funds to execute all the projects that you desire.
Yeah.
But now, I want to believe that with the subsidy burden taken away, the state and the federal will have more funds
to build infrastructure.
So our budget, we won't have to say, oh, we want to take so loan, this quantum of loan to be able to execute our project. A good chunk of what we need to implement our budget, we'll be able to find the money. Because if in a month we can save like about 900 and something billion.
Imagine what we can do in a year.
Yes, in 1 month, you can imagine what we can save in a year. So the removal of subsidy has some blessings in a way. What we just want to see is honesty and transparency in the use of the funds that we are able to save from petrol subsidy removal.
Adebayo Oyetola was in transport before, so was moved to marine.
Marine, yeah. And blue technology.
Blue economy.
You have these key agencies under former Governor Oyetola, and him being kind of astute administrator, somebody that at any point in time can hold his own. So this is another strategic ministry that has been given to him.
Yes, I thought he was going to make a fantastic transportation minister because some of the things he inherited as governor from the man he took it from, he continued. For example, the Gbọ̀ngán, Odiomu, the Osogbo Road that links the Badon Expressway to Osogbo. We got to a point that the former governor had to leave it. But he came in and he did about 10 kilometers. And when we asked him, he said, what they can do is to make sure that things go around. Don't forget, also to Osogbo, the road coming from Iwo, all the roads coming to the capital. So I thought we were going to make a fantastic minister. But what he did was basically take on those that he can finish and then work on it. So, but now that he's in charge of marine technology, marine and blue economy, which is a new way of taking all the agencies that has to do with marine, put them in one pot, and make sure that they are properly monitored. Everybody. So that, to me, will be a true test of his ability as an administrator. Because we have some of the best ports in the West African coastline. But people run away from us. If they can, they go to Lomé, which now is even busier. They go to Cotonou. Some people even go as far as Abidjan ports and then come by road to bring goods because this is the markets. But a lot of people do not get values. Because one thing I told people, there is a dry port in Ibadan that is lying waste. There's a dry port in Kaduna that's lying waste. There are dry ports everywhere. Which a minister now should do is to ensure that people don't come and set up structures along the road simply because they want to take goods from the ports. As far back as 20 years ago, Saudi Arabia already sending you text message where your flight will be on your way to Hajj. So why should people leave Sokoto, for example, and stay out of Giri for months simply because they want to take stuff away from the port? The first job for the minister is to ensure that technology is applied in such a way that a man who has goods to clear on Monday can stay at home in Guzau or stay at home in Kano and simply come down when it's 48 hours. So the time is to pick up and not waste days, even weeks, hanging around some areas. Because unless we do that, our trade will not grow to the level that we expect.
Wale Edun is going to have his hand full. He's going to be coordinating the economy and he's going to be driving the finance ministry. And this is very, very strategic. And we need that sector to, turn around whatever fortune we might have inherited from the last administration.
Ashwaju is out to make money. And I want Nigerians to challenge me that I said so. This president is out to make money. Otherwise, some of these ministries were created is because he has seen the potential in creating them, the potential to come up with revenue. Yeah. Yesterday I was talking about what Lisa Bakuba said about the Ministry of Marine and Blue Economy. He said for 40 years they had been pleading that this ministry should be created. Now it's been created. At the time when Ghana was already turning itself to the shipping hub of our continent. And Togo here, turning itself to an aviation hub. Because Emirates and the rest of them, they prefer to go to Togo than come to Nigeria.
Yes, Emirates, they've left Nigeria.
So there are issues that we need to fix. And Agbakoba is saying that ministry alone can give us revenue in excess of 7 trillion. 7 trillion, that's a lot of money. So we have a frugal person there, probably the most frugal governor of his generation. He's been given that ministry. Ashwaju did the last minute tweaking, and the man they earlier gave that ministry will now be the Minister of Interior. You know? So he made and he brought back the Niger Delta Ministry, you know, after a lot of complaints and anger over his the decision to scrap it.